Welcome to Geek Do-It-Yourself Mechanic. The purpose of this video is to follow up the scan tool overview video. It's going to cover some of the features, additional features that maybe a professional or maybe even an advanced do-it-yourselfer would want. So if you recall in the previous video, the professional would most likely want sensor testing information and maybe even specific trouble code fixes. Again, a quick review of that would be the sensor testing information would allow you to know the pinouts, what tests to run, what waveforms to expect for the specific make model of your car. And if you deal with numerous amounts of cars, there's just no way you're going to know how each component for each car manufacturer should look like. So having a database at your disposal would be very helpful. Likewise, the trouble code fixes, what that does is it gives you specific areas of probability for a specific code. So it saves you time, so you don't need to test all the components of a car. They give you specific areas with higher probability that have in the past caused that trouble code for that make model year. So let's look at this Vantage. It's an older model, but I like it because it's a voltmeter and a graphing DVM. It's pretty good. Use it around the house. Use it for fixes as well as part of my arsenal. What I wanted to focus on is show you component tests. So right now I'm set up for a 91 Mustang 5.0 liter. And I'm going to go into component tests. And if you notice, it lists all the sensors and actuators in the car. And I've selected injector at the bottom there. If you notice, it configured the top screen to allow me to start testing. If I had my connectors, I could start testing. But it also is going to tell us about injector operation, lay out the pins in the connector, and also give us some tests. So let's see what the injector operation is. So it goes through and indicates how the EEC will control it, and this is a ground side controlled. Goes through all of that. And it gives me this. It gives me the pinouts for the connector. Very helpful. Obviously, this is an easy one you could figure out yourself, but it's just for example. And now let's look at the tests. KOEC means key on engine cranking. Now that's cool. It shows you the expected pattern for the test you're about to run. The top one is a classic injector pulse. The bottom one is a peak and hold, and it will tell you about that. If you read through this, it'll tell you. Pulse width test. Tells you what probes and what port to plug them in. Key on engine running, snap throttle. And it should look like that pattern that we saw before. Resistance test. I don't know if you heard that, but it actually configured the meter for you to save you time. It set it to right scale. It told you min and max they should be. That saves you a lot of time. You don't have to look that up in a manual. This is why a professional would be willing to pay the additional monies for these databases. There's the patterns. It talks about them. A conventional is the top, and the one at the bottom is the peak and hold. That's pertinent nowadays. A lot of the GDI, gas direct injection, cars are doing this peak and hold. Again, it's going to look more like this. Anyway, so, and it does this for all the solenoids, sensors, in other words, controls and sensors for this car. So you can see you could get in and run tests quite a bit. This does not say you don't need to understand the systems. It just helps you get in and out quickly, because it gives you the specifics you need for your test. What connectors to plug in, how it even configures the meter for you. So this is why the professional could really leverage this. The reason I bought this is so I could learn these tests and map them forward with some study. Again, I'm not a professional. I just want to be able to be very proficient on my cars and be able to debug them. So again, this video's purpose was to talk about these last two features that a professional would have, and maybe even if the advanced do-it-yourselfer can get a good deal on it, they would benefit, because they could learn tests, get their database of waveforms, pinouts, things like that they work on. Anyway, when I was looking at scanners, I didn't have this information available. I hope this information will help you choose the appropriate scanner and packages and features that would be good and helpful for you in your endeavor of learning modern cars. Thank you for watching. I hope you found the information helpful.